Last week on Delicious Ambitious, we met Sally Preston, founder of Babylicious, a company making frozen foods for babies and toddlers. This week, Sally returns to share her tips from the top on starting a business.
What are my tips? What are my top 3 tips? I suppose my top 3 tips are, if you're looking for money, whatever you think is your worst case scenario, treble it. Because for some reason you've never ever got enough money to get yourself through all the contingencies. And you think you've got contingency in, you haven't got enough. So make sure you've got enough money. Second tip, I suppose, is your product really good? Is your service, your thing you're planning on doing really genuinely different? If it's not genuinely different, or there's something very similar, you're going to struggle. So what do you need to be? You need to be honest with yourself. Is it really good? Is it really fantastic? Is it really unique? If you can answer those questions with a yes, then go for it. And I suppose the third tip is friendships and families who come together and support you. Very, very important, but don't neglect them when you're so busy and immersed in your business that you forget about your friends, because you'll need them. So those are my tips. When I set off trying to produce frozen baby foods in the form of Babylicious, I genuinely believed the only thing I needed to have was a great idea. I genuinely believed that people would just find it in the supermarkets and they would just buy it, and it was as simple as that. How naive is that? And I suppose that's where my naivety came from. So what did I wish I'd know? I wish I knew how to market a brand in the supermarkets. My background was a food scientist for Marks and Spencer's. I'd never interfaced with marketing ever before. I was simply a consumer. So I really wished I'd understood the power of marketing and the power of brands. And I think we could have got to certain places quicker, using less money really, because we made a lot of mistakes along the way. So in hindsight, I wished I'd employed a marketeer earlier on in my business to have made life just a bit easier for me. We made the mistakes in order to learn. You don't have to do it that way.
So, what's the best lesson that Sally's ever learned about running a business?
Firstly, don't overcomplicate things. I think sometimes people do overcomplicate things, they overanalyze things, they over-worry about things. Things actually can be broken down, problems can be broken down into small compartmental little blocks, and you can work your way through that. So I think it's very important not to just get totally stressed by the magnitude of the problem. Break it down into lots of little bits and you can manage those. And I think the other thing that I've learned is that tomorrow is genuinely another day. And when it does seem really bad and it's all going a bit horribly wrong, it's amazing what a night's sleep and talking to some trusted people can do. So share your problems, yes, but you don't necessarily need to take their advice, but at least by engaging them in a conversation, you've got somebody else's input. But it doesn't mean it's right, because you will form your own opinion. So that would be the things that I've learned. I suppose the best advice I've ever received comes really from my consumers, and my consumers love my product. My consumers, the mums, love Babylicious and they love Kiddylicious. So the best advice I've had is don't give in, keep going. And if there's a problem there, go round it, go through it, go over it, but there is a solution. If you've got customers pulling your product and you're on this side and you're hitting a problem, try and find a way around the product and through the problem. Don't give in, because customer pull is the most important part of a successful business. And if customers are demanding your product, asking for your product, requesting your product, you know you're onto something. Even if you can't get it to them, find another way. Use the internet, use home delivery, get them to come to you. There is more than one way. So best advice, don't give up. Find another solution. Go round it, go over it, go under it, try another way. So what tips would I give to other young women who are planning on founding a business? Well, again, it comes back to some of the things I've said before. Is your idea really good? Is your product really good? If your idea or your product or your service is good, then trust your instincts. Your instincts are often going to be right in this case. I would also say, certainly for women who've got small families and children, it will start to take over your life. It's really important you try and get your work-life balance organised in some way. It's not just your children who will suffer, but your partner or your husband will also begin to feel a little bit neglected. You have to actively make time for these people. It won't just sort of happen, because anybody who goes into business, be them male or female, will be absorbed by the business. It will take over their sleep, it will take over their life, you will think about it all the time. So you have to actively come out of that, and so you actively have to make time for other people. So that's really important. I think the other thing to realise, and everybody talks about business plans, personally I hate business plans, but everybody talks about business plans. No business will go to plan. And when you get and understand that, it actually makes life a lot easier. So don't beat yourself up if you have a business plan and it's not going to plan and it's not working. That's actually incredibly normal. The key is to flex the business plan, review the business plan and change the plan in line with what's going on in your world. But don't rigidly stick to a plan and then beat yourself up if it's not working. That's just life, really. So it will ebb, it will flow, it'll be like a roller coaster ride with your crash helmet on. There'll be fantastic highs, but there'll be really bad lows. Ride the roller coaster, it's a journey.